Cockfighting, a way of life in Appalachia. In the shadowed hollows of the Appalachian Mountains, where mist clings to the ridgelines and gravel roads twist through dense oak forests, cockfighting once thrived as a hidden tradition. Though illegal across the United States, including throughout Appalachia, the practice persisted for decades in remote corners of Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia, places where isolation and poverty shaped a culture of self-reliance and secrecy. The events were rarely advertised. Word spread quietly through trusted networks, farmers, miners, and small-town laborers who shared a fascination with the bird's ferocity and lineage. Matches often took place in barns, abandoned tobacco sheds, or makeshift pits dug into the earth. The arenas were crude but functional, a circular ring bordered by plywood, surrounded by benches or hay bales. A single bulb or lantern cast light over the dirt floor, illuminating the crowd's tense faces. Handlers arrived before dawn, carrying their roosters in wooden boxes or burlap sacks. Each bird was a product of careful breeding, selected for strength, speed, and aggression. Gamecocks were fed high-protein diets and trained daily, tethered to posts, exercised with weights, and conditioned to fight through controlled sparring. Their owners spoke of them with pride, describing bloodlines that stretched back generations, often tracing to imported breeds from the Philippines, Mexico, or England. Before a match, the handlers inspected each other's birds, checking for hidden weights or sharpened spurs. In some pits, natural spurs were left intact. In others, metal gaffs, razor-sharp blades, were tied to the bird's legs. The referee, known locally as the pit boss, announced the rules and took wagers. Money changed hands quickly, sometimes amounting to thousands of dollars in a single night. When the fight began, the crowd fell silent. The roosters circled, feathers flared, eyes locked. Then came the blur of motion, leaps, strikes, and the sound of wings beating against the air. The fights were brutal and brief, often ending in minutes. The losing bird lay still, while the victor stood panting, blood streaking its plumage. Handlers retrieved their birds with practiced efficiency, some tending to wounds, others collecting winnings. For many participants, cockfighting was more than gambling. It was a social ritual, a gathering point in communities where entertainment was scarce and traditions ran deep. Older men recalled attending matches with their fathers, describing them as lessons in toughness and pride. Yet the practice also drew condemnation from law enforcement, animal welfare groups, and younger generations who viewed it as cruel and outdated. By the early 2000s, federal and state crackdowns intensified. Raids became more frequent, and penalties grew harsher. In 2007, the Animal Fighting Prohibition Enforcement Act made it a felony to sponsor or attend a cockfight, transport birds across state lines, or possess fighting paraphernalia. Still, reports of underground pits continued to surface, especially in the most rural stretches of Appalachia, where law enforcement resources were thin and local loyalties ran strong. Today, remnants of the old culture survive quietly. Some breeders claim to raise gamefowl only for show or heritage preservation, though suspicions linger. The legacy of cockfighting remains a complex chapter in Appalachian history, one that reflects the region's tension between tradition and change, secrecy and survival. In the hills where the echoes of the past still linger, the story of blood and